Welcome to Talking Giants presented by SeatGeek. I'm your host, Bob Skinner, here with my co-host, Justin Pennick. And it's our fourth annual, by the way, 4th of July mailbag. So the fourth annual for the 4th. We do this every year. So I always give this disclaimer. If you only listen to us for Giants football, don't listen. We're not talking any Giants football. We're taking mailbag questions about anything, everything but Giants football. And we're always joined by Danny King on this. Me and Danny King did the first 4th of July mailbag in 2019. And this year we're adding a not-so-special guest in Snacks.
Agreed.
You know, it's hurtful, but I get it. And I understand it. I know my place. I know everything where I'm supposed to be. And it shouldn't be here. So I'm doing you guys a favor. So
should be about 40 feet under the ground, really.
I've dug a hole before, Justin.
Yeah, I know, metaphorically and physically. Hi, Danny King. How are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here with all you people. 4th of July. What a time to be alive right now. What's the day? June 30th? June 30th when we're recording. It's just a great time to be alive right now.
Very excited for the 4th of July, even though I'm pretty miserable right now as a person because of the shirt I'm wearing in the Nets right now. Which we can talk about the Nets because we don't have to talk about Giants football. And this is actually the perfect time to have Snacks on to talk about the Nets because there's nothing that he can say that can annoy me or make me mad. Like, there's nothing he can say that can annoy me or make me mad. There's other times where Snacks does really annoy me and make me mad. And if you're in our group chat, like, I get pissed.
Yeah, you fire at me. It's good.
I'm dead. Like, I'm dead. The Nets are going to trade Kevin Durant, also most likely Kyrie as well, and I'm just dead as a Nets fan. I thought I'd have a chance at the title, and I'm never going to get – it's the only team that I just never will have a chance to win a title with.
Yeah, and see, my thing about this whole thing is, well, one, I win. Two –
No, you don't.
Justin, I win.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. However, I don't think it's over yet. Oh. We all saw the smoke and mirrors last week with was it earlier this week? I don't even know. My days are getting mixed up. Kyrie, he like wanted out and then he opts in. Is this all a ploy? A ploy for what? I have no idea. But everything just came together just way too weirdly for me. And Ramona Shelbourne tweeted out something that was pretty interesting to me that I just read before coming on here, that Kobe demanded out, wanted out, hated everybody, and then re-signed with the Lakers, won an MVP and a Finals MVP that same year.
And that's the only thing that, at least in my lifetime, that has been comparable to this, was Kobe in 2007. Yeah. They were a bad team. But Kobe had 4 years left on his deal, and he literally demanded his trade on live radio. Like, I remember how big of a deal that was. He wanted to go to the Clippers.
Right.
And the Lakers said no, and then they traded for Paul Gasol at the deadline, later that, once that season had got to start at the deadline. So that's the only thing comparable to this, because that's my thing is, why are the Nets not just saying no? The Nets have been leaking that they're willing to do this, that's the craziest thing to me. Like, the Nets are willing to just throw away their only chance at a title. Like, the Nets roster, right now can compete for a title. Like, they didn't have Joe Harris last year. They didn't have Ben Simmons. For some reason, they just traded a first-round pick for Royce O'Neal, which is like, why are we trading our first-round picks if we're about to tank?
Yeah.
It just, nothing makes sense right now, and it's
Any
so
relation
frustrating.
to Shaquille?
I'm just not even going to acknowledge that right now because I'm just so heated at the Nets. It's just tell him no. He's not he's not going to sit for 4 years. No. Okay?
He's going to play.
At maximum, he would sit for 1 year. And I would still rather have Kevin Durant sitting for 1 year on the Nets for another 3 years and just suck it up and just dig your heels in. We're not going to trade you. And people bring up Ben Simmons. Well, one, Kevin Durant is unbelievably much better player than Ben Simmons. Much better player. And Ben Simmons, they got the Sixers got James Harden back. I know they gave up some picks and Seth Curry as well, who's a solid little piece. But literally just say no. Okay, you have Kyrie opted in. Kyrie might be able to sit up, but just say no and fix this. Fire Sean Marks, fire Steve Nash, and fix this. But the issue is we have the worst owner in sports right now in Joe Tsai. Like this is Joe Tsai, who does not realize that, like, dude, you're not NBA titles are extremely hard to come by, even if you are like a huge team. And the Nets aren't that. Okay, the Nets are not this huge market team. Like Kyrie came to the Nets because he's a Nets fan, and they had the spots for it. There were other big teams out there that won Kevin Durant and Kyrie, one namely being the New York Knicks. So that's the thing that's just so frustrating to me. And out of all of this, Joe Tsai and Sean Marks, I hate the most. I hate them the most. I will hate Kevin Durant, by the way.
Because
because he's demanding a trade. The only person I'm not mad at is Kyrie Irving. Because you know what the issue with Kyrie Irving is right now between him and the Nets? That Kyrie Irving wants to be a Net for the next 4 years. He wants to sign and play with Kevin Durant and give the Nets their best chance to ever get a title and in their history, and probably for the rest of my lifetime. That's their issue, is that he wants to play for them.
See, here's my one thing, though, Bobby. And I think from what I've read and listened to on SportsCenter before with Woj and Windhorse, whatever they know, who knows, Durant was unhappy that the Nets weren't willing to give Kyrie a max extension. Can you really blame the Nets for not wanting to do that, though? Like,
yes,
I know,
because now you're losing Kevin Durant.
Okay, but I understand that. But are you really gonna, as an owner and a GM, are you gonna financially afford this for a guy that may just go off the cliff for 3 weeks when you have no idea what he's gonna do?
But let's talk about that with Kyrie, because Kyrie, definitely not, the ideal teammate. So this past year was
he's a terrible teammate.
The past year was the vaccine thing. Okay, that's gone. That's gone. And so the other incident, which, by the way, I was very annoyed at this incident, very annoyed, was the season before last when he just disappeared for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. He disappeared. He didn't tell the team. He disappeared for 2 weeks. I was very aggravated with Kyrie at that. Very aggravated. But let's talk about that year. That year, they were on their path to not just winning a title easily. They were up 2-0 on the Bucks, and Kyrie sprains his ankle. Kyrie sprains his ankle when they're up 2-0 versus the team that won the championship in 6 games. And not only up 2-0, they beat him by 50 points in game 2. So that team, and that was without James Harden after trading some good players for James Harden. That was with James Harden out. So this team it's a team that can win a title right now with the roster that it is. It's not a guarantee. It needs some tinkering and stuff. And Ben Simmons, I have much less faith in Ben Simmons than I do Kyrie Irving. Like, I don't know, like, that's, like, I understand if Ben Simmons is playing, he can be an asset next to those two guys, but I don't trust Ben Simmons. Like, I would like to trade Ben Simmons because I don't have any trust in Ben Simmons, where I trust that Kyrie will at least show up and play when it matters the most. Okay, he wanted to play this last year. He didn't want to get the vaccine, and that's a different debate for a different day, not on this Talking Giants podcast. But, and again, at the end of that, like, everyone agreed that rule was lunacy anyways. They had unvaccinated players playing. He was able to be on the freaking in the stands on courtside, but not able to play. So Kyrie does want to play basketball. There's times where he does that 2-week stuff, but at the end of the day, Kyrie can be a headache and not be a great teammate, but also him, Kevin Durant, and who else gives the Nets their best chance to ever win an NBA title?
Bobby, you ever think
not
about
the Lakers
starting
where we're going to reload every 6-7 years.
You ever think about starting to talk Nets?
I was just going to say, that was a very good rant.
That was a great rant.
The thing is I don't have the stamina to do a Talking Nets all year.
It was a joke.
Well, all right. So before we get into the mailbag, I just want to reply to Bobby real quick, and I don't want to set him off. But however,
no.
I'm not gonna. I'm talking. I'm taking my Nets hatred out of here. But in all likelihood, they trade Kyrie and KD. They're gonna get a really nice haul back. However,
we're not gonna win a title though.
You're not gonna win a title, and
Houston has all our picks, too.
And that was my last thing, yes. Houston has all the Nets picks.
That's the most frustrating thing, is we're going to be like a 5 seed next year with Devin Booker and whoever else, and I'm going to sit there like an asshole being freaking on pins and needles like it's, we're playing the 76ers with D'Angelo Russell. And
Devin
we
Booker's
win game
fun.
1. I just don't know
He's a
if
choke artist. You should have watched him in the playoffs this year.
Oh yeah, but that was a fun night that we were all together, and then it's like, oh, what a Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and another player combined for like 9 points.
They just didn't show up. Rangers won that night though.
They did.
So it's just, again, I've been a Nets fan my whole life. Okay, my worst sports memory, there's two. It's the Red Sox coming back from down 3-0. That's the second one. The worst one is Game 6 of the 03 NBA Finals. The Nets are leading the whole game by between 8 to 12 points. And then in the fourth quarter with 8 minutes left, the Spurs are going on a 19-0 run. And the Spurs win an NBA championship on Father's Day. And David Robinson retires a champion.
That's really,
and it's just like, that's the best the Nets will most likely never win a title in my lifetime.
Well, all I will say to that, which it was a phenomenal rant, but the only thing I'm going to say is that's a shame.
And so obviously there's going to, most of our audience is Knicks fans, and it's why I don't tweet about the Nets a ton. One, because I'm not a basketball expert, so I'm not adding a ton to the basketball conversation. I'm simply just being a fan. In the playoffs, I'm going to tweet a lot because that's when I'm living and dying by that. Yeah. I'm not living and dying by the 67th game of the year versus the Bucks, even if it's a big Sunday matchup. So obviously, but what can Knicks fans stop doing the "We Run New York" thing? Like, isn't that kind of pathetic at this point? Like, we know you have the most fans. It would be like the Giants if the Jets are like contending for a championship and like "We Run New York" or Yankees and Mets. I just feel like it's. Yeah, at this point, it's kind of pathetic. Like, you guys are still like a horrible franchise, and probably never going to win a title in my lifetime either.
Yes, and which is going to be longer than my lifetime. So I don't say that we run New York. The only thing that really pisses me off, and which makes all of today so funny, was Kevin Durant. It's not cool to be a Knick thing, and 3 years later, he doesn't want to play in Brooklyn. That's where the humor in all of this comes in for me.
That's such a throwaway line, and the fact that you're running with it, and you've said that a million times. You've said that a million times today. You are such a miserable person that is a throwaway line, and that is the thing that you're holding on to by saying that you win.
But it's not a throwaway line for this reason. Because
you're a Knicks fan.
No, it's not even that, because it was not cool. The Knicks were the clear-cut favorites for a year. It's going to be Kyrie and KD to the Knicks, right?
According to who?
According to everybody. Bobby, am I wrong on this?
Everyone thought it, but it never was even close towards at the end.
Every pundit, every single pundit was like Kyrie and KD to the Knicks was like a done deal. Everything. So when they signed with Brooklyn, every Knicks fan got shitted on. The Knicks organization got shitted on. Everything. That's all that happened. When they signed 3 years ago to this day, the Knicks and their fans got absolutely blasted, ridiculed, everything. Danny, correct me when I'm wrong. And then Kevin Durant, a year and a half ago, goes, well, it wasn't cool to be a Knick. Okay, so a year and a half later.
It wasn't. They sucked,
but it's
and
not.
The Nets were building up.
Can't attract stars. They can't attract stars. Okay, it's not cool to be a Knick.
I understand that, but the Nets were nothing special either. And a year and a half later, they're so uncool in a year and a half.
But it's not about us being uncool. It's about us being a dysfunctional franchise. Like, that's the thing, is they didn't join the Nets because it was cool. Like, they just like, hey, this is a good basketball situation for us.
Well, maybe they should have read the tea leaves a little bit more, and maybe they should have actually got a head coach instead of getting Steve Nash.
I agree. I think Steve Nash should have been fired the second the season ended.
I thought Kenny Atkinson was a good coach.
He was a phenomenal coach.
Yeah, and I was pissed when they fired him.
He's the reason that those two went there.
Yeah, I agree. I was pissed they fired him. And again, Kyrie was out for injury at that time, so I don't know how much they had involved with that, but I was not happy with that firing. And I was actually excited for the Steve Nash hire at the time, and then once they actually started playing games, I'm like, oh god, this guy's not a good coach.
And who wants to fucking wear orange? Black is cool.
The Knicks wear black.
I actually like the Knicks uniforms better than the current Nets ones.
Thank you.
I like the New Jersey Nets logo stuff better.
I love the old Nets logo because that's.
I even have one of the real with the actual state of New Jersey in it. Yeah. And by the way, you're supposed to be Mr. New Jersey. Why are you not a New Jersey Nets fan?
Correct. I've always wondered this.
I'm not a Devil fan.
Tony Soprano was the New Jersey Nets fan.
You are New Jersey, and
I'm not a Devil fan either.
Exactly.
They're like the Giants. Like they claim they
point.
play in New York, but obviously they play in Jersey. You're Mr. New Jersey.
If there was a New York Jets and a New Jersey Giants, he'd be a Jets fan.
Oh, very funny. My father's from the Bronx. I take his fandom. Sorry, I don't know what you want me to tell you. All right, why don't we do some questions, huh?
All right. Yes, we got that out of the way. So let's take it away, Steve. All right, thanks, Steve from Blues Clues. Danny, let's get into the mail.
Wow, what a time to be alive! Give Justin a break today. Justin deserves a break. Look at that.
The original question asker in Talking Giants history.
And all the butchering of names. We love it. First question comes from @DougieFresh86_. Can't forget the underscore. Who would win an eating contest out of the four of you, and will you make it happen next 4th of July?
Is there another question with that? Mm-hmm. When it says parentheses together, Danny?
What food and beverage competition would you each enter, and then obviously, which one of us would win a 4th of July eating contest?
You're still not reading the next question, Danny.
Oh, so you're going to lemonade competition? There we go. That one threw me off right there.
It's dark, Dan.
So first, I want to get out of the way that I'm not going to the lemonade contest because the guy got back to me like 2 weeks after I emailed him with like, "Hey, can we do all that?" So I'm not going. And here's what I'll say about.
I'm actually really not happy with you.
Well,
it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and don't say, "Oh, I can do it."
No, that's why I'm going to push back because I don't think it's a once in a like. John Boy Media can very, very easily get us involved in that next year. Very easily. Those people look for the MLE Major League Eating. They're looking for that stuff. So we can very easily get involved in that next year.
I'm upset. I was really looking forward to you doing that.
I was going to do it, but they didn't respond until literally like 4 days ago. I'm not going to book a whole trip.
Yeah, flight tough, hotel tough.
Yeah, that's a little short notice.
Yeah, it is short notice. But man, that would have been what
and it's only like a minute of TV time for the lemonade. I'm not actually. It's not like I'm part of the hot dog. Like I don't get announced or anything. They just do it. So.
Love that guy.
The question is who would win. I mean, I feel like it's maybe I don't know how Snacks puts down food, but I feel like it's between me and Justin, right?
I'll be honest. I mean, like I thought in my mind, I was thinking, like, what if Snacks is just like an animal and just like devours whatever's put in front of him?
No, Snacks says Ajita. He can't do it.
Well, Never mind. It depends on the food. We're doing hot dogs?
Yeah, let's just say hot dogs for the spirit.
Yeah, I'm not going to win hot dogs. I get heartburn after like 7.
Yeah, you get Ajita. Yep.
Okay, so we'll take.
You get big time Ajita.
Yeah, I do. And Justin, I think you're out of the equation because you haven't eaten real food in like a year and a half.
No, that's false. So I've lost weight and I've traveled, done some things, blah blah blah, cheated off the diet, haven't gained any weight back, but I have untapped. There's like a demon that has been unleashed inside of me since I've lost this weight. I have accessed like this pit in my stomach where when I get going, you better fucking like look out. Like it's dangerous how much that.
Well, that's the bad thing about a strict diet is when you get off of it, it's like you come back with a vengeance.
But I haven't gained. I haven't gained anything back. But there have been times. That's impressive. There have been times where it's just like, holy shit, how am I still going?
Yeah.
So I'm confident.
You know what? Honestly, I was gonna say Bobby because I watched him house Pizza Hut in Alabama, but
we were drunk for that. maybe if we're drunk because it's like I told the story on the podcast before. Like they made our O-line in high school do a hot dog contest, and I was just like, I can't do this. This is disgusting. So I could see Justin just like, no, I'm gonna like just getting so into the competition. They're like, no, I'm gonna win this. Like I'm gonna shove hot dogs down my throat.
His reasoning too. His reasoning just kind of sold me. I'm going Justin, and I'm assuming that you have to eat the bun too, and you have to dip it in the water, and you got.
No, you don't have to dip in the water. That's what
I mean.
Dude, that's the worst. That's just so vile.
That's so disgusting. So vile.
I'm still picking myself, but I think. I'd have to keep, I'd have to look out of the corner of my eye and make sure Justin wasn't
eating with
on
pace is something that I have trouble doing. But I can, if we're talking about stamina, like I can do that. So what?
I eat fast.
Or you eat? All right. So Bobby would probably win.
Like I was leaning Bobby
in a short-term race. But if we're talking about like a tortoise and the hare situation, then maybe I would get it. Like if we're setting a goal of 100 that's a lot. If we're setting a goal of 50 hot dogs.
It'd be a good battle we'll set up next year.
Maybe that's something we can do. It's not because the racing isn't fun, but it could be like the first one to.
Yeah, racing is dangerous. I don't like timed. That's the reason why I haven't done the milk challenge.
And like,
you need to do the milk challenge.
You do need to do the milk challenge.
Shout out Curtis Riley. I actually tweeted at him a few days ago about that.
Let's forget that.
No, we can never forget that.
Justin has to chug a gallon of milk. It's literally in writing.
It's dangerous. It's actually dangerous.
Then you shouldn't have said that you would do it.
If you hit
I didn't know what it was.
If you hit 100K on YouTube, you have to do the milk challenge.
Oh yeah, all right. I'll hold my breath.
All right, Dan, what we got?
Happen. Next question comes from Sal from upstate. Where from upstate? Who knows? NYG fan 005.
I should have specified that all four of us have been on the podcast.
Oh, I just realized
some of these are just like Bobby Justin questions.
Yeah,
that's why I was getting a little confused.
I just the question, Sal. That was the dude who had the lemonade competition part. So that's my bad. Jesse, good old Jesse at Jesse Chimino at Jesse P _Chimino asked, which would be less of a competition, Justin versus Bobby at the bowling alley or Bobby versus Justin 1-on-1 in basketball? Bonus round, Bobby versus Justin at lemonade chugging.
So I want to bring this up. Me and Justin did Pop-A-Shot in Charlotte. I watched that video back. I didn't know you fling the ball like this, and that's like a way to win Pop-A-Shot.
Yeah, I wasn't like, you don't like shoot it like you're playing basketball. No, you just fling it.
Well, I was embarrassed because I was like, I know I'm a better shooter than Justin, and Justin beat me in this Pop-A-Shot. And then I watched the video. I was like, oh, you're not even shooting a basketball. You're like you're playing the system.
And I wasn't flinging it like this. I was legit shooting it, but it's a motion. And Pop-A-Shot, you have to pick up, go. It's about efficiency in Pop-A-Shot.
I had a 50-point game right after that.
Of course, yeah.
So
when the cameras are off.
Here will be. Well, it's true. I think I actually took a picture of it too.
Tough.
Here's the question I have. So you've been bowling a lot, Justin. This will be the answer to the question.
Mm-hmm.
What's been like your worst, like just individual game score, like over the last 2 months?
I've had some bad games. So like in the 150s. Okay,
so then it means me because my best score is probably like a 180. So we can get on the right time, and there's no way I'm letting you beat me at basketball.
Yeah, because there are times where if you go on like a random, weekend,
I'm a better baller.
But if you go on like a random weekend for bowling, like you can get like bad lanes, and then I'm fucked. And then basically, if you're a straight-handed thrower, it doesn't matter what the lanes are like. So you can get me on a bad day. But basketball, yeah, no, I can't get a shot over unless I'm agile and I can run around you. But no.
My brother's like he can play some decent basketball, and there's times where he'll challenge me a little bit, and then it's like, all right, just turn on the defense, hit a couple points with the post, and I just win every single time when we play 1-on-1.
Justin, I actually want to bring up basketball real quick. You know how we tried to shoot free throws in the wind?
Yes.
It was brutal.
And double rim. Yeah.
The rim itself was awful.
Double rim.
So I had my buddy's bachelor party last weekend, and I will confirm with you. I will make sure I text my friend and screenshot it to you so you could see. I want you to guess how many free throws I hit in a row.
11.
It's not a bad guess.
You were pretty 14. Solid even with the double rim. 14?
Yeah, 14 in a row.
There you go.
The 15th one, Bobby, it's like automatic.
What's your usual shooting percentage from the free throw line?
I would probably, out of 10, I'm guaranteed 7 out of 10 minimum.
Yeah, I was about to say 60, 70, yeah.
Minimum.
So I'm like a 65-70%, like steady. I haven't played basketball in a while. I have to get back into it.
Yeah, I'll usually go 8 and 9, but minimum 7. I won't go under 7.
Free throws. If you actually practice free throws, there's really no excuse to not make them.
It's
like
automatic.
NBA players not making free throws to me is insane. You don't even really need to shoot it. You really just kind of got to push it. You just got to push it soft with a nice spin.
It's the same thing.
Yep, it really is.
That was the only thing I was good at when I played basketball.
Justin, and now I got a place around by me when you come down here. I got a spot. You'll see.
Ooh. Bowling too? You got a bowling alley down there?
I don't want to talk about bowling.
Okay.
But so wait, the bonus round though, I think Bobby would win the lemonade chugging contest.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'm not a beer chugging contest and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, Justin, you played high school bowling, right? Because that. Right?
Yeah, I'm a state champ. Yeah.
You played high school bowling? No, Danny, you bowled in high school.
Okay,
all right, leave him alone.
There's no bowling.
He's in college. You should know this shit.
No, bro.
What is it? A bowling game? A bowling match? What is it?
right?
I mean, bowl, like how I just say it now, it's league. You know, you bowl in league. I don't even say like match
Dan.
or game. It's weird.
I just bowling. Man, that's just
you just bowl.
I mean, it's just my high school never had that. It feels like we didn't have all the cool sports. Next question we got comes from Greg at Greg C9. I'm gonna get it right this time with the together part. He has probably answered a lot before, but how did you and Justin connect to get Talking Giants going? And then Shawnee Smiles at Shawnee FK asks, could you give a brief history of the show? How did you guys come together, get going, etc.?
Yeah. So what we did was.
I thought you were going to give us the show. I didn't realize that Snacks was one of our earliest listeners of Talking Giants. Snacks has one of the first ever stickers of Talking, like the first ever one, crazy. Where it's not a good sticker. Like it's literally like it's pushed all the way to the logo. It's small. It's a rectangle, and Snacks has one of those. We only gave out like 40 of those to people.
Still on my dresser, and I gotta find it somewhere. But I still have your handwritten letter, and I remember pissing my pants reading it. The first stickers we ever gave out, and we gave them out for free, not Patreon or anything, just gave them out. I wrote a hand letter written note, like to each one, like, and they were very corny messages, like, you know, don't let the FBI test this note for fingerprints. It's very funny.
Stuff like that.
You know what? I'm gonna go get a quick picture of it. You talk about the origins. I'm gonna go get a picture of it.
So I guess. It seems like these two guys don't know, and a lot of people know. The show started with myself and Danny King. And Danny, what was the name of the podcast before it was Talking Giants?
It was a good old Giants Nation.
Good Giants Nation, the Giants Nation podcast. So if you listen to the first episode, it's just me and Danny for 5 minutes, kind of introducing what the show is going to be about. So I'll try and keep it short. I was doing a show called Simple Man Radio, which was just like talking about sports, interview based, with my friend Zach and a couple other friends. Was doing that, working really hard at it, but it was just like not getting any listeners. And then so I realized that like, hey, to gain any traction, you gotta like pick one team and talk about it. So we were with this company called Wegern, who, you know, they didn't pay us or anything, but they were just kind of like a sponsor of the show, or whatever. And they were trying to grow their New York stuff, so they had a Giants Nation Twitter page. So I wanted to start a Giant, but I was like, I couldn't find anyone reliable. And then the Giants Nation Twitter page started popping off, and I'm like, who's running the Giants Nation Twitter page? And it ended up being Danny King. And then I was like, hey, do you want to do a podcast, Giants Nation podcast? That ended up happening. There's the sticker. You got to say something for people to see.
No. Everybody can see it because I'm showing all four.
Yeah, look at it. It's
a sticker.
Can you? Oh, what the fuck is that?
I have it on this laptop, but I can't show you the back of my laptop right now.
Justin, you want me to send it? Yeah, it's literally it's like it's
we saw
perfect. You got it right. It's like perfectly fit on the. I can't even take it off now. It's been so many years now.
Yeah, it's I only have one, and it's on my laptop. So we started Giants Nation podcast, and I had Jake on the show. Just randomly, like not because I was a fan of theirs or anything. Like I wasn't a fan of theirs. Like it was when the Yankees were playing the Red Sox in the playoffs. Like I want to have a Yankees show on the Simple Man Radio, and so I just looked up Yankees, podcast, and it was Bronx Pinstripes, which is, by the way, the bigger one at the time, and Talking Yanks. I messaged both, and I was hoping for Bronx Pinstripes to message back. They didn't. Talking Yanks did, and John Boy made Jake go on instead of himself, and we just kind of kept a connection. And then I pitched to them a few months later of creating Talking Giants, and it started growing. Daniel Jones being drafted helped out a lot, because we were really the only people breaking down Daniel Jones instead of just giving hot takes. So me and Danny were really consistent, put out a lot of content, grew it, and then Danny was going to college, Justin was doing his own thing, and then we made the switch to Justin, and I know Justin can probably give his side of the story on a little bit.
Yeah, I actually was a fan of John Boy and Jake. I started Bleeding Blue, the show that I did I started in 2018. Talking Giants started up in 2019. Did it with David Powis. It originally was also a Yankees show. If you saw the Yes Network, and if you saw the Talking Yanks clip that got like a couple 100,000 views of John Boy in October of 2018, talking exactly about like like manifesting the Yes Network thing about doing the alternate telecast. He talked about that when on Bleeding Blue. And it, lo and behold, it kind of came true. So it's kind of wild that, you know, I started because of them, and I don't think I was just given the spot at at Talking Giants. I kind of felt like I earned it. Bleeding Blue was successful. I actually think our numbers were quite comparable, Bobby, when it comes to Talking Giants and Bleeding Blue throughout the 2019 season. It was your first season. It was our second season, David and I, but we had a good show with the good community of people, and then kind of just pursued an opportunity, figured that, hey, John Boy Media is growing, it's expanding. I think I can actually do this on a full-time basis, so I took that kind of chance, and then lo and behold, here we are.
Where the fuck did Snacks come from?
Snacks actually left I'm very nervous. I was very nervous to do a mailbag episode because I didn't want to not get questions. So the way that I phrased it is the Giants, for regular season ticket holders, did a town hall where John Mara, Dave Gettleman, and some other people were, Pat Shermer, I think they were there doing a town hall for regular season ticket holders. So then we did a Bleeding Blue town hall. Snacks DM'd a question. Then lo and behold, I click on his profile, see that he's a part of a fantasy football brand that is quite popular, and then I just figured it would be a pretty good professional thing for me to do to stay connected with Snacks. Then lo and behold, he's just a really cool guy. I have him on Bleeding Blue. We stay connected. He's a psychopath. I love him. We become some of the, like, Snacks is one of my best friends in the entire world. So that's how Snacks and I connected. He just listened to Bleeding Blue. He left a question, DM'd me a question, and then we just stayed in touch.
Yeah, it's funny. I never really listened to podcasts either, and I was on one. Like I just didn't care. So I was searching out a Giants one, and Bobby, as you know, I was listening to Talking Giants, and then Justin came aboard. And abort. Why would I say abort, Danny? Aboard. Saw it on timeline. I'm like, oh, this is good. And then I listened to a couple episodes, and then I saw like send in your questions, and that was like peak angry Snacks. I was very, very angry about the direction of the team. I hated you at that
time, by the way. You were like one of the most annoying people. I hated
you. Without a doubt. Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I still am. The one thing you can give me is I'm consistent. But
you just annoy me with the Nets and Knicks now. The Giants stuff or Yankee stuff doesn't annoy me at all.
Well, the Yankee stuff, because I think we're in lockstep on the Yankees. But anyway, and I think I DM'd Justin. Justin, correct me if I'm wrong. It was like a paragraph.
Yeah, it was long, man. It was a long question, and I think you were going at John Mara.
I was going at John Mara and Jerry Reese.
Some things never change.
Yeah. Some things don't change. And then Justin like DMs me back. He's like, happy on the show. And our first show, I remember, I was doing it from my room, and
we had such bad technical difficulties.
Oh my god! We were both like pixelated and colored, and everything was like.
Yeah, you're gonna see it on we have a best of moment show coming out on Tuesday, and for those YouTube watchers, you're gonna see the days where I had a laptop that survived a house fire. And my camera is just so bad, because that's like before we like moved to YouTube, or I was able to not afford, but before I really fully invested in like a camera or a good computer, stuff like that. So it was really bad. It was bad.
It was absolutely hysterical. And then we talked off air for a while and just became good friends. That's right. When was the first time? Sorry, Danny, Bobby. When was the first time we hung out? Was it?
I can imagine it was towards the summer or the fall of 2019, because we tailgated together.
Yes, you're right. And Justin is the reason why me and my ex-girlfriend broke up.
You had a long-term relationship, and I am the reason why you broke up.
Correct.
Yeah. We'll tell that story on the final episode of Bleeding Blue.
Yeah.
For the off season. For the off season.
I was like, wait, is this breaking news?
For the off season.
I actually listened to that first time you were on Bleeding Blue. Talking about like fantasy football Snacks. The only thing I remember was you talking about like one of your guys' punishments for losing was like doing karaoke stand up or something like that. The loser did.
Yeah. So the loser had to go up in New York City stand up like comedic bar and read off the jokes that the rest of the league writes.
Oh, okay, so that's what it was.
They're like the worst jokes in the world. And some of these people, like these stand-up comedians in New York City, think they're going to make it big. And then you have some asshole that goes up and is reading like the most ridiculous jokes in the world. It was hysterical. Nobody laughed except our little table. It was just so funny.
Me and Danny. I mean, Danny. I think Danny. You did like a show on a cruise at one point.
Dude, that was probably one of my favorite things. In the middle of the ocean,
cruise. That's dedication,
cruise.
Danny.
Yeah. Like we didn't miss an episode.
Well, because
like,
I think that was the week Golden Tate got suspended.
I can't even remember.
I was on the cruise, and there's the rumor that Golden Tate was going to get suspended for PEDs. And I was like, well, and then Corey Coleman tore his ACL on that thing in that same few day period. So I was like, well, damn, well, I guess we have to do it. But yeah, there was always, I think maybe like one show was missed, and it was like the week the Josina Anderson and like Landon Collins thing came out of like early February.
Me and Danny didn't miss a beat. Like we went hard, like, you know, the 3 days a week, like the schedule, you know, now was started by me and Danny when we were getting like 300 downloads an episode, you know, in the middle of July. So those are fun times. I some of my funnest like memories on Talking Giants for 2019, because part of it was like no one listened to us, so me and Danny could just fuck around a little bit, and it's like, you know, we didn't have to be super like, you know, precise and like what's the word, intentional with our takes. So it was fun. Danny, I'm putting the Weird in New York podcast on our best of on Tuesday.
I was still one of the funniest ones, especially with the whole Janoris Jenkins situation. Janoris Jenkins, your giant factor, got suspended like less than 24 hours later for whatever he did. That was the Weird in New York was just a legendary episode. I'm also a huge fan of Bobby's video, the Mr. Jones music video when Bobby puts his face on it.
Yeah. That was my pinned comment.
Yeah,
I remember
for a while that was your pinned tweet. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I always said it was going to be until Jones won a Super Bowl, and then when the Joe Judge video happened, I pinned it. And then right now, what is it?
Andrew Thomas.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, Andrew. That's
as it should be.
Yeah,
now it's just like when people see on my page, I want them to be like, oh, I can. This actually guy's actually a real deal with the Giants. But yeah, we Like our first draft, the draft previews me and Danny did, we literally just picked random names and just watched them. Like we probably, like in our draft preview, we probably hit like 80 guys. I think like 25 of them ended up being UDFAs because we literally just picked random names. So if you listen to our first mock draft, like 4 or 5 of our picks are like ended up going undrafted. It was like 4th round. Tevon Coney, linebacker to Notre Dame. It's like, hey, that guy never played a down in the NFL.
He's an accountant in North Carolina.
Yeah. And we were like tweeting out, I was like, this dude's gonna be a real deal linebacker, and like the player would retweet it.
With his 700 followers to like your guys'
700 followers. I remember, even though I don't think, because we didn't talk about, but in that preseason, Josiah Tuefa, I had like the entire university of like where UTSA. I don't know where
San Antonio.
Texas San Antonio. They were my brand in 2019. That was a Josiah Tuefa stan.
You were a UTSA stan account.
I'm a UTSA stan account.
Didn't Will Hernandez come from UTSA?
No, he came from UTEP.
Yeah, UTEP.
That's it. That's right.
Danny King, before you read the next question, can you read an ad, please?
I mean,
God, it wasn't me.
If you want me to read an ad, I can, because guess what? It's time to step up to play with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. New customers can bet just $5. Once again, did you hear that? It was $5. And on any game, and get $150 in free bets, no matter what, win or lose. You looking to turn a small bet into a big payday this season with DraftKings same-game parlays? You could do just that. If you're a baseball, you like betting on baseball, you can do all their parlays on it. Take every Mets thing. That's my advice to you with the Mets. However, this Saturday, let's quick little UFC thing. I threw together a quick free pick parlay. Bang, bang, $20. I threw it together. First main event, Israel Adesanya defeats Jared Cannonier. He's minus 450. I'm taking that every day of the week because Izzy is one of the greatest mixed martial artists right now. Co-main, Max Holloway versus Alexander Volkanovsky for the featherweight championship. I'm taking the underdog Max Holloway of plus 165 because he lost his last fight in controversial style. That's why they're running it back a third time. So give me Max Holloway in the rematch. And I chose a random prelim. I love Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He's versing Jim Miller, or he's fighting against Jim Miller, I should say. You know, I don't want to get snacks on that. So I took Donald Cowboy Cerrone at plus 165. I put down $25. I can win 214 if it comes to fruition, and it will, because why wouldn't it come to fruition? So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code JOHNBOY. New customers can make any $5 MLB bet and get $150 in free bets no matter what. That's promo code JOHNBOY. It's JOHNBOY, people. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See notes for details. MLB trademarks used with permission. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counselor, or
you don't need to read that.
I don't need to read that. Then we
Let
don't
him
need to
read
read
it.
that. It's all done. It's red. Red seems important.
No, I have to copy that.
Just my hair, Danny. Just my hair.
Just look at Snacks.
1-800-9 with it.
Call Indiana or look at Snacks' hair, and it might help your
Deanna.
problem. Legendary Indiana.
1-800-9
Oh,
with
Indiana.
Who's Deanna?
I was gonna say she's single.
Princess Deanna. All right, next question, Danny.
The next question, also, just take the Mets winning the World Series, by the way. Just had to add that part. Next question comes from
Clip
Patch.
that. Justin, clip that. I swear to God, clip it.
Okay, you can clip
Next-
it. Just screen record it.
Next question comes from Patrick McKinsey at Patty_Mac__.
Patty Mac.
He asked, would you rather only be able to eat hot dogs? By the way, Snacks found this question confused at first. Would you rather only be able to eat hot dogs, but all drinks are on the table, or be able to eat anything you want, but all drinks taste like hot dogs, even water? I mean, I guess I'll say first off,
you go first, Danny.
I bought 150 hot dogs today for my work. I looked like an absolute weirdo walking out with
Glizzies.
24 pack of Glizzies, but I made it work. Also, I would only eat hot dogs, but be able to drink whatever I want, because I cannot imagine like water just tastes like hot dog water, or like my Sprite Zero tasting like hot dog
That's
water.
heinous.
I have a question. Do we all agree with Danny?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing: is hot dog tasting drinks would be suck. Hot dogs, wouldn't it be awesome to eat them every day? They're still good.
Yeah,
Like
they are good.
I even looked it up. I did research on this question. Mustard's Last Stand. They have 45 different types of hot dogs. Like you can even add, it's not just a plain hot dog. So that's an easy answer.
Stuff it with cheese, like cheese stuffed brats. Oh,
brats aren't hot dogs.
I love cheese on a dog.
It is good. It is good.
A cheese dog, unbelievable.
My one fears though is that if like I am only eating hot dogs for the rest of my life, some like asshole is going to tell me exactly what hot dogs are made out of, and I will just probably pass away right then and there.
You don't know what hot dogs are
I
made
think just
out of?
eating hot dogs every day might kill you.
But like the question is, what's it made out of? I don't want to know.
Well, it's funny. Joey Chestnut eats enough hot dogs on the 4th of July that we probably will all year.
That is true.
Oh,
that
yeah,
like-
he
easily.
eats more than me, probably.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the contest. Snacks, do you watch the hot dog contest every year? Because you're not on the show every year.
Are you kidding me? I love the hot dog eating
Me too.
contest.
I love it.
So electric, and I know what's going to happen, and yet I still
Get excited.
am so fascinated by it.
Can we make this clear though? Last year, ESPN messed up the broadcast. We were not able to watch like a good chunk of that hot dog eating contest because like the cameras or something.
Yeah, they totally screwed it up.
If you screw it up again this year, that might be grounds for like
That's
losing your contract.
Danny King's warning to the world.
That's my warning. ESPN, if you hear this,
It's a
don't
spectacle.
mess up the hot dog eating contest.
It's one year I will be a part of that somehow. It was almost this year, but one year
I hope
will
so.
be a part.
My friend Larry, you know what? I'm not gonna pull it up right away, but my friend Larry went to Coney Island. Justin, you probably met Larry.
sure.
And he went to Coney Island on his own at like, I don't know, 8 a.m. He got like a seat, but not a seat. He was standing, and the camera like shined over him, and he was going nuts. And like he was on ESPN, and his face was like, "Arr." And Larry's like the big hot dog guy in our friend group and in our
Big
parents.
Glizzy guy, huh?
It was hysterical, and we saw him on TV. Like we all recorded it and went back, took a picture. I'll send that in, but it was so funny.
Good for Larry.
I do feel like it would also be like, imagine just like moments before Bobby goes to take the stage for the hot dog eating contest. Like you guys record a live show like somewhere in Coney Island, and then Bobby just goes straight to the hot dog eating contest to go up against.
Forget the show. Imagine just the adrenaline that you have to have to compete in that.
Oh, God, yeah. Well, I will say this, too. Big Cat from Barstool did it when, I mean, yes, Barstool was big, but they weren't what Barstool was now. Coney Island, it's a native New York, the Giants. Bobby, I think you can get into that contest.
I think it'd be kind of easy if we just tried as a company to do it,
exactly,
and got somebody else involved. Get like Jake or somebody else involved as well. I feel like it'd be kind of easy.
Yep.
Next year.
Yep.
Let's make it happen next year. It's what the world needs. Next question comes from Kevin Donahue at Kevin PD Donahue. He asked, "What's it like to pursue a sports media as a career? Does it take the pleasure out of what you took an interest in for fun?"
I'm in healthcare. Go ahead.
So if we weren't doing like Talking Giants, where we get to be fans still, even though we try to be as correct as possible, but we do still get to be fans, so we get to enjoy. So I will say it actually has made me more definitely made me more like the thing is the highs are much higher, and the lows are much lower right now for me as a Giants fan. The parts where it has kind of, some of the fandom has suffered, I will say, is that it's less shit talking. Like I can't just go and just be like Giants, no matter what. Like
I can't have a casual sports conversation. I can't. I was at a barbecue like a couple weeks ago, and somebody was like, "What do you think of Daniel Jones?" And my brain, I had a mental conniption where it was like I had a stroke. I couldn't say a sentence about what I thought about Daniel Jones. And I eventually told the people, because they were asking me these questions, I'm like, I can't have a casual sports conversation. I just can't.
You got to fix that. You got to be able to relate to other people that aren't as, you just got to like kind of, I know this sounds mean, but kind of talk on their level. Like my buddies who are, fans, like they know, like I'm not sitting there talking about like cover 4, like you just talk about like, if they ask me about Daniel Jones, I'm like, man, they've screwed him in every way possible, but it's at this point it doesn't matter. Like unless he totally balls out, it's time to move.
Yeah, like, I mean, we get to that point. But really, what I thought of, can I kind of change this question into not what it's like to work in sports media, but like I think people ask advice all the time. I recently wrote a DM that I think was perfect, and I kind of want to revisit some of those notes.
Oh, I need to hear it.
Do it for the right reasons. Don't just do it to like make money or like, I want to get a job in something. Do it because you want to build a community of people. So that is something that is never going to change, whether it's 10 or whether it's 10,000 people. It's like building a community of people. Very much like the reaction that we got to that Andrew Thomas interview, and even before the interview came out, like the picture of us in the van, like everybody reacting to that, having a community of people that you can celebrate things together, whether it's positive for the football team, the Giants, or whether it's positive for like ourselves, celebrating those things together is so awesome. And that's why I do this. Consistency. Yeah, that's just a whole, publishing things, but coming up with the plan. That is the thing that is very different now that this is a career. Is that I'm like my role with John Boy Media and Talking Giants and the football stuff is I'm very much like the plans person and working on like executing actual like getting content out, producing content, editing content, getting making sure these events happen. So planning everything. Nothing just happens and it just rolls out and it just happens. Like everything is planned to a T, communicating with sales team, communicating with this person. That's the thing that really feels like work, is just planning and then executing all of these things that happen. Like that Andrew Thomas interview doesn't just happen. Like there's a whole bunch of other steps that need to happen for it to actually go down. So
I thought he just showed up in the van.
Yeah, the van just shows up. The camera just pops up. The microphones are just situated.
Two dudes, Danny.
Yeah. So that's what makes it really like different.
Some of the things that, so I didn't have to do this, but if I were doing Talking Giants like the last 3 years of Eli, that would have broken me as a fan, because I love Eli.
I ripped him in 2018.
It would have broken me. Eli's my guy forever. Like that would have sucked for me. And the other time that it gets annoying is like, so some of our most diehard listeners are diehard Giants fans, and they're from day ones. You know, so like for someone to listen to me and Danny at the very beginning, they had to be a diehard fan. They love the Giants with all their heart. So those are some of our most loyals, but also it can be annoying. Like when Logan Ryan got cut, Joe Shane's new, so Joe Shane could do no wrong. I knew as soon as we said all that stuff, like I don't agree with this at all. I still don't 100% disagree with it. But it's like, it's going to be annoying when people are like, you got to trust. It's like, nope. I know we're still fans, but this is our job. Stop telling me to just trust. Like we can say we don't like it. So that might be the thing that gets on me the most.
I hated it even last year when everybody was just coming out and being critical of the team. And there were certain, oh man, I'm getting very specific here. There are certain people who it was like surprising to hear, oh, you're critical of the team? Wow. So like it's easy to hate the Giants when they're bad, and it's also very easy to love the Giants when everything is new with Joe Shane and it seems like they're moving in the right direction. So it even bothered me last year when it was so easy to hate the Giants, where it's like, wow, that's such a really great point. It's like, well, they're bad and they deserve any and all kind of hate that they get.
Where the hell did Snacks go?
Yeah, where did Snacks go? Snacks, you still here?
He's still there.
There you are.
He's just doing it. No, I mean, like when I did talk at Giants in 2019, took me a second to remember the year there. I felt I had to be more professional just because like if you're trying to like start a show on the team, you want to kind of like make it seem like you're serious. And now since I do it, I'm a weatherman. I'm able to still have fun with it on like my social media. Everyone knows that like I can still be like a full-time fan. Like you guys are too, obviously.
Well, even like you run the Talking Giants account, and it's like you can't tweet out your full thoughts all the time.
Yeah,
because
like I just
say fire whoever. Like that was like maybe the only real like thing I ever like got aggravated with Danny is like.
Who did I say the fire? I probably said.
You said like fire Pat Shermer in like week 8 or week 9.
Oh God!
And I was like, yeah, I'm actually not of that point of view. So now everyone thinks that was like the only time I've ever gotten mad at Danny in my entire life was that.
That's right.
That tad ties, but I'm just interested to see like because obviously I'm trying to do sports media as a career. Like, what's it going to be like when like I'm doing it as like a full-time job, and like then I got to really take like the fandom out of it, depending on like God forbid. Like, I mean, I've already screwed myself if I would never work in the market of Philadelphia for all the heinous things I've said about that city in my scumbag shirt. But like how could I like be like a Phil Eagles beat writer after all this hatred I had towards that team? I would have to completely change the way I watch not only them, but like the entire game. So it'll be interesting to see like once I enter that market full time, how my persona of watching sports changes.
But I don't really think it matters what team you're covering, whether you like them, whether you don't. I mean, being genuine and being authentic is what gets people to follow you, what gets people to subscribe and then keep coming back. And when you lose that genuine and that genuinity, that's not a word, and then authenticity, when you lose that, that's when you get in a funky kind of territory. So like Snacks is unapologetically himself. And I think people absolutely love that. And
also absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
Next question.
I will say, I imagine my bosses at my school newspaper probably will not link my Twitter to their official website because they're like, his Twitter account is complete jokes.
I know you have. I was going to look at your profile the other day, and it's like there's two. I was like, is there a fake Danny King account? And it's like, no, it's like your.
Oh, but here's the difference, though. But here's the difference. Here's the difference, and here's what's something that a lot of people. I would love to have like a show where we can just like talk about like the behind the scenes business stuff, but I'm not qualified enough to talk about it. But the difference between what you do, Danny, and then a lot of probably like you know people that you go to school with, you have more followers. Like you when you say I'm doing something, I'm part of something, can you support it? There are going to be people that are going to support it and going to check it out. And that is the difference between you, because you've built a community of people that like you, that follow you. You have a platform, but it's not just a platform, but it's a platform of people that like what we do and that will support you. That it's like, hey, I'm doing this. I need this to be done. Can my community come with me? They will. And that's the difference between like being professional and then just being authentically yourself.
Yeah, that's why I love my 2,000 followers. Or 2,067. Or
if Danny ever gets big, I'm just gonna take him down with the picture of him with the Iraq background. Next.
When I tell you, I logged onto a Zoom one day with that background, I was actually like flustered. I was like, "Oh my, how do I explain this?" Next question comes from Jack Salzoni. Jack Salzoni, whoever at Jack Salzoni. Wow, no one's gonna take that ad. He asked if you could have a sit-down interview with one member of the Giants' new staff and drink with them on the 4th of July. Who would each of you pick, and what are you guys drinking? Before we ask, I feel like a lot of people is Wink Martindale a popular one?
Yes.
It was
Danny, you're saying Wink Martindale. You're saying Wink Martindale. I'm saying Wink Martindale. Justin, you're gonna say like Andre Patterson, he could teach me life lessons.
Yeah. I think the consensus here is Wink and a lot of beer.
Yeah, I thought about Dable. So I was thinking about Dable, but I was like, everyone else is gonna say Dable, so I'll say Wink.
Dude, hey, Bob, when I said we're gonna have the same one, Danny, I didn't even realize it's Wink. That's the He's such a character. Guy. That's the only guy that is employed by the New York Giants right now. Not the only guy, but the number one guy that I would want to sit down in a bar and just pick his brain.
It would be Andre Patterson for me.
His name is Wink.
I knew it. See, I know you so well.
You know who I wouldn't want to sit down with?
Joe Shane.
Mike Kafka. Shut up about you're going to start talking about NFTs. Bro, I do not want to sit down with him.
If he says, bro, look at my, I would get up and leave. Because I'm like, bro, you're so.
Do not want to sit down with Mike Kafka.
I'm out on Joe Shane too. I think he's way too much of a nerd.
No, I love him because I'm a goober too. So.
I love that too. Yeah, for you. Mm-hmm. I ain't listening to that nerdalytic shit all night. So
I will say the other person I was considering was actually
and Joe Shane definitely seems like he may not like portray it, but he's just like, I'm way smarter than everybody here.
Oh, without a doubt.
That kind of like that snobbiness.
I do that.
He's also definitely a lightweight. He's got 2 beers in him. He's not going to shut up. So
there's 2. I would have considered Brandon Brown since I feel like he looks like a cool dude, and I wouldn't mind talking to him.
Brown one.
The other one was actually, people might think this is really stupid, but I would talk to I want to sit down with Kevin Ayers and be like, how annoying actually was Chris Mara.
Well, he's not with the.
That's news.
I guess it's still is,
yeah, we'll talk about that when we come back from our break because it's. I didn't want to mix it.
Yeah, Chris Mara commenting on Twitter. It's gonna be ugly for them.
So I knew Justin was gonna say Andre Patterson because we did like in 2020 we did like who's your quarantine crew?
Bart Oates was one of them.
And you were like Bart Oates, he's a lawyer.
He's a lawyer.
And mine was like Brandon Jacobs, we're gonna whoop some dudes' asses. That proved true. I was like DeAndre Baker, me and him would just get along. And then like a week later he was arrested.
And then you also said Plax.
And no, I don't. No, I said Shockey, not Plax.
Oh, okay.
And then Daniel Jones. I was like, because I don't want to be the whitest guy in the room.
Bart Oates, Orleans Darkwa. Who else did I say?
Like absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just horrible. Yeah, so mine was
OC.
Yeah, mine was Jacob, Shockey, DeAndre Baker, and Daniel Jones.
I want to interview Shockey kind of bad. I had that thought yesterday, actually.
I love Shockey, but I just feel like he might be a horrible interview.
I feel like Shockey would be extremely
He's lost brain cells, man. Like concussions really did fuck him up.
But I mean, I think we need to... If we really want to continue to go for like the outlandish, outrageous, wild, off the wall interviews, then Shockey would be that guy.
I mean, Shockey was my favorite player as a kid, so I would definitely love to. But
we should ask him political questions.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Dude, no, that'd be Steve Weatherford.
I went down to Shockey.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Steve Weatherford.
Go to Steve.
Steve would be
that man's crazy.
He's off his rocker.
I don't see that stuff. I've seen Shockey, man. You forget some of the shit he said back in the day. Like Bill Parcells, like he's just like, yeah, I think he's gay. Like
yes, that's what I'm talking about.
That's returning Shockey. Like New York Giants legend Bill Parcells, and he's like, yeah, he's gay. Just crazy stuff. All right, next question.
Next question comes from Hans Warmat Orzo at Alex Lorenzo CT. He says he hopes this doesn't count as a Giants question, and it doesn't. If they played baseball Sorry, if we played baseball, what would be our like walkout song? So you're going up to the plate. What would be your walkout song? I can already tell you right now. For me, it'd be Dua Lipa, "Levitating," featuring DaBaby.
Wow. See, I don't even know what that song sounds like, so I can't shit on you, even though I really want to shit on you for some reason.
It's a great song. It's I play that all the time up at school.
I'm gonna listen to it later and retroactively shit on you. What about you, Justin?
That Don't Impress Me Much by Shania Twain.
Come on, that can't be a walkout song.
Yes, it is.
That's not a walkout song.
Because it's either we're talking about my performance at the plate or we're talking about the pitcher. That Don't Impress Me Much.
Snacks, save this.
I mean, I'm not going to save it. You're going to hate this, Bobby, but I'm literally coming out to Kurt Angle's theme song.
That's actually a good one.
Yeah.
Everyone chanting "You suck" at Snacks as he walks up to the plate. That's actually a good one.
You took the word. God damn it, Danny! You took the words right out of my mouth. The whole crowd chanting "You suck," and that fuels you. Yeah. So sorry I didn't save it, Bobby, but I would walk out to Kurt Angle's theme song.
It's kind of. I don't know Kurt Angle's theme song, to be honest.
Well, if you knew Kurt Angle and you knew the theme song, I think you would actually appreciate it.
Wow! Out of all these songs, you know Shania Twain. Wow.
Okay. Well,
I mean, that song was a hit back in the day. Everyone knows that song.
But to walk out to it?
Yeah, you can't walk out to it.
Yeah.
Mine would be "Paper Planes" by MIA.
Okay.
Just you got the gunshots. All I want to do is take your money. Like that is my walkout song for like Giants games now. Like when I'm getting ready to watch the Giants game, MIA "Paper Planes" is
before
playing.
we recorded our draft. That's what you played.
Yeah, it gets me pumped up.
And
it's about taking people. It's about robbing people, shooting people. Like it's a great song.
Mark Hanna, the Mets left fielder, that's actually his walk-up song, his "Paper Planes."
Really?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, he's a loser. That's good.
No, he's
I
good.
kind of like him now.
Definitely better than who's Giancarlo Stanton, your left fielder. Ugh.
Oh yeah.
What's his name again? I'm gonna tweet at him.
Mark Hanna.
At Mark
CAHNA.
No, it's C.
He might be
Jerry Callo CALLO. Nobody knows that.
It might also be Big League Foodie because he's a big food guy. He always goes around and reviews.
What's his Twitter at? I'm losing my mind here.
It might look up Big League Foodie. It might actually be Big League Foodie. Big League Foodie.
Not showing up.
Somebody with the Twitter name Tony Soprano just followed me.
Oh, it's out of the park, Mark.
The Yankees suck.
Tell me something I don't know.
Yeah, today ends in a Y.
Yeah.
It's really not funny, Danny.
It's not showing up.
Out of the park, Mark.
Justin, when do I get to read my ad?
He blocked you. Yeah, you want to read it now, Snacks? Now that Bobby's looking for this?
Yeah,
Sure.
read your ad.
Sure. Is everybody ready? We good?
Oh, I'm ready.
Let's
All
go.
right. I'm going to read it right now.
Talk to me about SeatGeek.
I will talk to you about SeatGeek, Justin, because today's episode is sponsored by SeatGeek. Live events are back, which means you can get $20 off tickets at SeatGeek with the promo code GIANTS, all caps GIANTS.
Snacks, can I ask you something?
What?
Preseason games are pretty cheap to go to, right? Now, there's only one. But, I mean, there's also the Giants-Jets home game, too, so you can go to that one.
You could, theoretically.
So those tickets are
However,
cheap. So if you use the promo code GIANTS, you can almost get your tickets for free, right?
You can essentially go to a preseason game for free, Justin.
That's right. And meet up with us.
That is another good point. And why wouldn't you want to do that? However, if you don't know what SeatGeek is, they're a ticketing app that makes buying tickets super simple. We've got the app right on your phone, right here. That's where the app is. Whether it's football, concerts, basketball, baseball, festivals, or more, SeatGeek puts from all over the web in one place to make buying simple, Danny King. SeatGeek rates every ticket from 0 to 10. Make sure you are getting a good deal. Green means good. Red means bad, except my hair, because my hair means very good.
Looks great today, by the way.
It does look good.
The big red.
Thank you very much. Every ticket on SeatGeek is backed by their buyer guarantee, so you can shop for tickets with confidence. Confidence that Eli Manning had in 2 Super Bowls in 2007 and 11.
Read that call to action.
That play action was good. Don't worry, though. We've got the hookup. Use the code GIANTS, GIANTS, for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with the promo code GIANTS, GIANTS. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app.
Thank you, Snacks.
I will say I did use SeatGeek to get John Mulaney tickets for the stand-up show he did at MSG.
Who is John Mulaney? Are you kidding me?
Dumb?
I don't know who that is either.
He just got out of rehab. I saw him right as he got out of rehab.
Good for him. I'm glad he got out of rehab.
And then he went on a comedy tour.
So funny.
Wow, that's awesome.
He's good. He has a Netflix special.
Give me another question, King.
Next question.
If it's somebody that Justin and you know what? Maybe me and Snacks need to give this guy a chance. But
you do. John Mulaney's actually jokes.
Very good.
Me and Penkin saw Sebastian, whatever his name is.
Maniscalco.
I'm not a huge stand-up guy, even though there is some stand-up moments
Neither am
I
I.
like.
But I tell you, this Sebastian guy was hysterical. I will give him that.
It's because he was Italian.
Forget about. All right, next question.
Next question. Two come from. Oh, now see, is it Isa?
I don't know.
Isa Cortez. Wow, that was a butcher right there. As you can choose only one, draft day or 4th of July, and why. She asks, Happy 4th of July when you read this. And also, Breck Jones, at Breck Jones _ asks, each rank your top 3 holidays. First, I said, Happy 4th of July.
I'll go first if you guys don't mind. If we're going to combine.
Let's all go see our one, because we actually get this question. So you can go first. What's your first number 1 holiday?
4th of July.
Mine is 4th of July as well, too.
Yeah, I know.
4th of July is definitely my favorite holiday. I mean,
it's by
it's
far.
the summer. You get to go to the beach, fireworks, the hot dog contest.
Everything.
You know, it's not like you can hang out. You can do it with your friends or you can do it with your family. You could do it with both. Like it's literally, you get to spend it with whoever you want.
Yep.
You know, it's by far my favorite holiday of the year.
For me, it's Thanksgiving.
Good
1,
point.
I like to get fat. 2, football, even though Thanksgiving this year is officially ruined because the Giants play. But Thanksgiving, it's just what a holiday. And I know Bobby's favorite holiday comes right afterwards. So it's just a great time of the year, in my opinion.
Food, family, and football, right?
Exactly.
That's it.
I think I'm Thanksgiving and then 4th of July.
So 4th of July is your number 2?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving's my number 2, so.
What's your number 2, Danny?
Don't do
no, I mean I was stuck between it, but think about it, 4th of July probably is number 2 because then just going to the beach, just like the fun around the holiday around that day is very fun. Even though 4th of July is also weird because it's my mom's birthday, so like
brutal.
Yeah, so it's like I got to celebrate America's birthday and I also got to celebrate my mother's birthday.
My number 2 is draft day.
Oh,
and I'm not trying to do that. Be like, "Ooh, I love football so much." The draft, but it really is like there's so much work goes into it. Like I love draft day. You know, so draft day is my number 2. And then my number 3 is Thanksgiving. I like Thanksgiving. Like I mean, food, family, football. I enjoy my family's company. You get to watch the Lions every year. Like I'm one of the people who said, "You leave the Lions on Thanksgiving. Do not change it. Stop.
Take them off."
It's a tradition like no other. It really is.
It's like the Masters.
It's a beautiful thing to watch the Lions lose every single year on Thanksgiving. Now Lions fans probably don't even want on Thanksgiving. Like, do you think about it? How every Lions fan, their Thanksgiving fucking sucks around 4:00 every year.
Do you think it really sucks because their season's already over? They don't care. They just want to go watch and then they go home and eat.
But I don't know.
They're always the 12:00 game. So it's
like I wish the Giants played at either 12 or 8 on Thanksgiving because then I can get over it before dinner or then I can deal with it after dinner.
Are we really playing Dallas? You know what?
Yeah.
I know we are.
That year we lost to the Redskins was really miserable the week before Eli got benched.
Yeah,
that was a miserable.
And
then you're around family who was like, actually, I actually didn't even spend Thanksgiving with my family that year. I spent it with some friends, and they were just shit talking me. And
I'm already considering calling out sick for Thanksgiving just because I don't think I could physically watch the Giants.
Well, it doesn't matter. Clip it. Giants win on Thanksgiving. My third favorite holiday, Memorial Day. You get a whole weekend.
And it's the week before. Or no, never mind. Memorial Day is definitely a good one. What's your number 3, Justin and Danny?
Can I cop out? It's not a cop out. Can I count the first home game of the Giants every year?
I like that.
I don't hate it.
I'll allow it.
All
right, then that's mine. First home game the Giants have every year.
So my third is not. It's more just I just love like the time of that year. I don't give like it's Christmas. I just love being able to chill out, watch basketball. Now we can watch football on Christmas, which is like a beautiful time to be alive, in my opinion. But I just like the feeling of that time, and also because I'm on break. And why wouldn't I?
We got a fucking game on Christmas Eve too.
We do.
I wish it was on Xmas. I wish it could.
I wish it was on Christmas Day.
I hate Christmas. So I wish the Giants could ruin it forever. I wish everyone's Christmas could be ruined.
Yeah, ours is gonna be ruined. Also, I will say, if I had to choose between draft day or 4th of July, it's draft day.
What day did you pick? 4th of July 2nd?
I mean, you can only choose one. It just says draft day or 4th of July.
Okay.
And so I feel like if I had to choose between the two, I'll pick a draft day.
Go ahead, take whatever.
All right, next question.
Next question comes from Austin Lanetta at Austin. Oh, Ionetta, my apologies. Austin Ionetta.
I think Danny's gotten every name wrong, which is a beautiful
No,
thing.
I got Breck Jones correct. All right, I got Breck Jones. All right, that was the easy one. He has Mount Rushmore talking Giants villains. This is a fun one.
So we got to brainstorm this one. This one, you would think there's a lot. It's kind of hard, and it's like I feel like would Jason Garrett count as one, or is that cheating?
That's I don't think Jason Garrett.
No, he'd count.
I don't think he does.
I don't know if like Giants players or coaches can count because it's like it's kind of like who are like direct villains of talking Giants.
If you're choosing a coach, it's Colombo.
I'm gonna make something very clear.
Or Dumbo Colombo.
Jason Garrett, from a business sense, hurt us tremendously last year.
Yeah, but that's so. Let's pick one of the two. Jason Garrett or Mark Colombo. I feel like we should go Mark Colombo. Just because we're like threatening to beat we're every day I'm tweeting at him that he's a pussy and we're gonna get him the shit beat out of him.
I disagree, but fine. I'll allow it.
Well, Danny, Jason Garrett or Mark Colombo?
Oh, Colombo. It's just
all
like
right, so it's Colombo.
I feel like there's two other obvious ones. At least, one.
There's definitely one obvious one in my mind.
The second one might not be as obvious.
And one, it's been since day one.
Yeah,
it's been an integral enemy, and that's Giant Insider, right?
Insider. Yeah.
Like I don't even hate those guys to be honest, but they are
clear number one.
Yeah. Like it's just been from day one. It's been like they don't like us, we don't like them.
They blocked me out of just association with Bobby at that point.
they blocked me because they blocked me. I remember
what you said.
No, it was 2020. No fans in the stands, and all Giants fans were happy that we beat the Redskins or whatever they're called now. Yeah,
they're Washington football team that year,
and they tweeted out something like, "Don't be happy about this win," blah, blah, blah. And I quote tweeted, I was like, "We can't be happy about this win. We don't win often. Why can't we be happy to block me?" So.
I disagreed with a take that they had about Eli Manning because Eli Manning was really bad, and they were like, "Oh, Eli was good," and I'm like, "No, he's not."
What year was this? 2018, I'm guessing.
2018, they blocked me, so I have it earlier.
Oh, I've been blocked for a while.
I've been blocked by Giant Insider for 4 years.
Wow. Yeah, they blocked me before we were even doing Talking Giants.
We can't say the last one, right?
Who's the last one?
It's the last one.
So we got two more right now. Who was the other obvious one you had in your head, Danny?
I thought it was called Pizzle.
I thought about that, but I don't know. Is he really?
He's more just his own thing.
Yeah, he's just a shit. He shit talks everyone out of jealousy. So it's like,
that's one of the best videos that anybody's ever put out. It's Danny's video impersonating him.
Oh yeah, the WWE
with the belt and the sunglasses.
What is the wording of the question? Villain or what is
it? Who's your all-time most hated? Oh wait, no wait. Oh, Mount Rushmore talking Giants villains.
Let's put that in our back pocket because we'll maybe get. So these are some of the names I put out there. I kind of hate Jeff Schwartz. Like, and you're gonna hear me rant on him. on the best of pod. I think he just kind of sucks. Like, one, he sucked as a Giant and as an analyst. He's really annoying, and he's just very, like, stuck up. Like, his podcast name is literally Jeff Schwartz is smarter than you. That's a name I had.
I mean, I do not like Jeff Schwartz, but that's actually kind of like a jokes of a podcast name. I can't lie.
I hate it, but it's like.
But I do think that's a good shout for one of the villains.
The other one I had was maybe Blogging the Boys, who started the like I'm gonna kill every Cowboys fan thing. The SB Nation Dallas Cowboys page, and then I have just PFF dickheads. Can PFF be one?
I mean, I feel like PFF has been a long-running thing on Talking Giants to disrespect.
Now, I know Justin likes PFF.
No, well, the ultimate finesse that I pulled off in 2019 was writing an article about...
I thought you were about to say you wrote for PFF.
I did a response to PFF's take on how the Giants should draft Tua after for the 2020 draft. And my ultimate finesse is 75% of the article. I'm like complimenting. I'm saying that PFF, they do good work. Here's why I disagree with what Sam Munson says. Blah 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 blah. Last 25% of the article, when everybody's clicked off, PFF is lazy. This is not a take that's that's like in roots of analytics and numbers and the good data that they put out. It was a very very lazy thing to say. Sam Munson retweets it.
They were saying Golden Tate was more valuable than Myles Garrett. Like, they were going off.
He retweeted an article where I called him lazy and I called him out. So that is the ultimate finesse by me.
And he retweeted it because he was lazy and didn't read the whole thing.
And he didn't read the whole thing. Yes.
So we're adding PFF. So the fourth one. So I kind of don't want to put Kopizzle on there, to be honest.
No,
but we don't really have like who are our other villains?
No, there was a moment where I will always love the moment.
Oh, Alex Wilson.
Well, I didn't want to say it, but I always
say before, damn. Like, are we allowed to say?
Dude, honestly, I didn't even think about it. That's an easy. Alex Wilson's.
But also, there was one of my favorite moments ever is how Nate Solder's not a bad left tackle before the
Solder. I actually thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that.
Remember him? And he left for Parlor.
I remember
Lexi Solder went at Danny King and me on separate occasions.
Wait. Nate Solder left Twitter?
No. I'm talking about Vince Rapasardi.
I thought you were talking about Lexi Solder.
I forgot about that.
No, I'm talking about Vince Rapasardi, how he said that because of Nate Solder's pass block win rate, that he is not a bad left tackle and that he was actually up there with Tyrone Smith after the 2019 season, and how the Giants don't necessarily need a left tackle. And Bobby and I were both like, you can fucking just eat shit. Like that.
I actually didn't hate him, but it
was like, such a bad take.
Well, it's just one, we saw that to proof, but it wasn't that we disagreed. It was that, like, well, I'm using analytics.
I'm using pass block win rate when the creator of those metrics.
No,
let me finish this. The creators of those metrics literally said these are not like good, perfect metrics. I was like reading like what they're about, and I'm like, usually when that's a line in what this is about, it's not that great. Don't rely on it.
All right, so Giant Insider, Mark Colombo, PFF, and Alex Wilson.
I do remember Lexi Solder did follow. It's probably the same for all of us, at least maybe not Snacks. She did follow at least me. I know Bobby.
She was like the first like family member to follow us, and then immediately like called us fake news.
Probably like a week later, we all just talked shit about Nate Solder and his ungodly ability to block a snail.
I congratulated Nate Solder winning the right tackle job this past year, and I shaved my head. And she was like, she pulled. No,
you had a tweet from Patriots camp, and it's like Nate Solder's actually looking pretty good, which is like the best compliment Nate Solder's gotten in 3 years. And she quote tweets it like all snarky, like actually, like this guy's been playing the NFL for so and so years, and you guys are surprised. It's like, well, guess what? He fucking sucks, and Von Miller made him look like he didn't belong on an NFL field because he didn't.
Snacks, wasn't Nate Solder actually like not bad during Patriots camp?
I was actually just gonna stick.
I was like, holy shit!
He did not look that bad.
It's like Judon and
he actually looked like one of the better Giants on the field because they all looked awful.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad.
Was terrible. We should have known right then and there. Well, yeah. I did. But
you do. Well, also the crazy thing in the 2019, I think it was, or at least 2020, Talk of Giants was like pushing Nate Soldier to be like win something with the Walter Payton Man of the Year. We were on his side trying to get him that award.
Well,
I've always spoke highly of him as a person. It's just,
a person, yeah.
He's an unbelievable person.
I've broken down thinking about like what he goes through with his kid. It's just awful. At the end of the day, you're a really bad football player and making a lot of money.
Or is he...
No.
Good. Next question comes from a legendary Talk Giants listener, Chris Mickle at the Grizzly Bear. He asks, in the spirit of the greatest hits episode, what moment for the pod has been your favorite? Bonus question, who does Snacks want to fight more, Tiki Barber or the legend Tim Coffey?
Snacks, you can answer that question first.
Yeah, I'm going to answer this real quick, and then I'm going to take this phone call because I think it might be important.
Do it on speaker.
Well, it's my father, so.
Put it on speaker.
I don't know why he's calling this late.
He's going to ask you have something to eat?
Well, probably.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's a secret. I hate that quitting scumbag Tiki Barber and his family, both his wife and his father-in-law. I'd rather fight Tim.
Ooh. Agreed.
I want Tim dead. I want to bury him. Bare hands too. I've looked at him. I've finally seen a picture of him. I've seen the video of him when you guys were in North Carolina. Doesn't intimidate me. I think he's a pussy. Sorry.
Get it.
That's it. I want Tim dead, and I'm going to fight him. Whether it's next week, next month, 2 months down the line, me and Tim will fight, and we will find out who the better man is.
With your bare fucking hands too, right?
Bare hands.
Leave your machete at home.
Nope, my machete's done. My gun's gone. Everything, it's gone. I don't really
have a gun.
I
knew you had a machete. We both have machetes. We've shown each other. I don't have a gun.
I'm just trying to strike the fear into Tim's eyes.
Okay, because we've shown each other our machetes before.
We have shown each other our machetes.
Can we make this happen in park?
I know Tim is petrified of me. That's why he talks such a big game. I know it because when I beat the ever living piss out of Tim and he's compulsing on the floor, he knows that it's me that's taking over his family. I'm going to take his wife, his kids, everything. Tim is the man I want to fight, and Tim is dead. I will kill Tim without a shadow of a doubt. He thinks, he's bigger than me. Yes, he is. Everybody's bigger than me. What he doesn't have, Danny, is ruthless aggression. I will kill him. Tim is dead.
This has to be the undercard for Mark Colombo versus Brandon Jacobs.
Can we make this happen in Parking Lot G at FanFest? I think that's what that event needs even more.
Good. Bring it, Tim. You heard it. Bring it, Tim. Look at me right in the fucking eye, Tim. Look at his unibrow. You think I fuck around? Come here, Tim. I will fuck you up, Tim.
All right. Don't you have to take a phone call?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right.
What was the first question, by the way? Can I answer that or no?
I can't even remember.
What moment for the pod has been your favorite, like a greatest hit moment?
Oh,
I don't know. I got to think about that one.
I will say for me, it's Glenda Jones. That phone call.
That's showing up on the Tuesday Best of pod.
I love that. This Daniel Jones' grandmother called.
The easy answer would be the Andrew Thomas interview because that was in person. He's the best player on the Giants, or at least close to it. At least, I think that. I think being ranked as a top 10 football podcast after the draft was a big deal. Justin.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that's actually a moment where I sat back and I was like, "Whoa!" Like that was a very, very cool moment. Being a top 10 show on the podcast charts. Out of the entire country, and also having our YouTube crowd doing as well as that's doing too. So that was a very, very cool moment.
Okay, then if I had to go serious, it would probably be then the episode right after Daniel Jones. No, right after the Giants won in Tampa.
That was fun.
Just like how exciting that was. Daniel Jones' first game, dude balled out.
To win the Super Bowl.
That was the most fun moment in Talking Giants history for sure.
I mean, like you guys will probably have that episode within like the next. Definitely this year. But like when the Giants are actually good again, which might be when I'm dead. But
I mean, the next best thing will be a playoff win, because even if we do draft another QB and I love him, like I'm not going to be as invested in him as I was Daniel Jones. The only thing that's going to ever beat that will be a playoff win.
Yeah.
I'm going to share a moment that I haven't shared on the podcast because the old coaching staff is gone. So this wasn't like a public moment. But at FanFest last year, and this was like the best I've ever felt about talking Giants, some of the assistant coaches recognized me, which was like, okay, that's cool. They're like, hey, Bobby Skinner. And when I talked to them, and they also were like, I watch your shit. You know what you're talking about is good. That was probably my coolest personal moment for talking Giants, but it wasn't like out there in the public. But I was like buzzing for after that. Like I was walking around, like skipping around after like Giants assistant coaches were telling me they not only knew us but like liked us and when he said knew what you're talking about, it's like, okay, that's kind of cool since we're kind of self-starters. That was cool.
I imagine having that.
All right, next question.
Next question comes from All Things Giants at Giants Things. He asked, who is your all-time most hated sports player / villain in any sport? Justin, you look like you're thinking. I'm going to send the Bobby first.
I have mine.
Justin, never mind, yours.
Let me go first. I got to sing happy birthday on FaceTime to my aunt. I'll tell you. It's Tiki Barber. And without shadow of a doubt, second is LeBron Blames. So,
fair.
I want you back for my answer. So, Justin and Danny, you guys go next.
Justin.
Deshaun Jackson.
So is there anyone like close, or is just like he played for their team? He's really good. He killed us.
Well, no. I mean, I've had some bad days in my life. My parents have gotten divorced. My house is burned down. I consider that day to be the day that I have questioned my life the most. Out of like, why is this happening? Like, oh, woe is me. That was the day in 2010. So
Danny,
nobody comes close.
That day changed men and women. Changed.
It did. It really scarred me because I went from dancing, and the fucked up thing is that my father like knew it was gonna happen. My father was like emotionless the entire game. I'm dancing, thinking we're gonna go to the playoffs. Giants kicking the shit out of this good Eagles team, and it's a home game too. And my father is just emotionless. He's like, that fat lady has not sung yet. She has not sung yet. And even with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, he was emotionless. They come back, and that's like what, if my father was shocked too, then it's like, oh, I'm like in solidarity with you. Like, no, like I was a happy kid, and he knew it was happening, and it was fucked up.
He's been trained. My least favorite player, I was at that game in 2015, like Justin. I despise Josh Norman. That stunt he pulled on the field with the base. He didn't bring out the baseball bat, but the whole way he was playing that game, acted like he was all tough and on Odell's level, which he was. He was some no-name corner that popped up that year. Done nothing since, might I add. That was the one thing Dave Gettleman did right, was not giving him that deal. And just the way Odell caught that touchdown over him, stepped over him, fantastic stuff. 2016, when he was with Washington and tried to like be Odell's worst enemy, couldn't keep up with him that year either. Josh Norman has done nothing since that 2015 season. The anger, anytime I see him, I just refuse to root for any team that he's on, which is unfortunate because he was on the Buffalo Bills last year.
Oh, true. And you have to circle the wagons.
I do have to circle the wagons.
That game was one of the best football games that I've ever been to. 2015 against the Panthers. Like it was from start to finish. It was such a fun game. And the thing is that from section 315, Danny, I know you're down a little bit lower. I wasn't seeing any of this. I didn't know that these things were happening with Josh Norman. I just saw Odell being Odell. So I saw a really cool game, and the Giants were down 35-7 in the fourth quarter. They tied the game. It would have been one of the best comebacks in NFL history if they won. So that
not only tied the game, they tied the game with an Odell right over Josh Norman.
It was.
And then literally just steps over him. Like
right.
that game was just so intense. And the Panthers
I
were
watched
great
that clip.
Year.
I watch that clip every once in a while.
Odell just lost his fucking mind in that game.
And it was,
that was his best year too. I remember like every game Odell was just going off every single game. There was no weeks off.
Two things I remember. Also, he got suspended the next game, and it ended our playoff hopes against the Vikings on Sunday Night Football.
That was the next week, right?
And the next week. And the one thing that also, like Justin's Deshaun Jackson thing scars me. One play that always scars me to this day is the first drive of the game. Eli lays up an absolute dime to Odell because he blew by Josh Norman, and Odell just dropped it. I still think of that because if he caught that pass, the Giants would have won that game off the.
Well, did the same thing in Green Bay too. So
he did, and that was more important. But yeah, Bobby, who's yours?
What did he do in 2016? I was very proud of Big Blue VCR for playing that clip today.
Yeah, we just talked about that.
Yeah. Odell's a loser, always will be. Go ahead, Bobby. Sorry.
Wow, I'm the only person who hasn't slandered Odell so far on this podcast. I'm not going to. So I hated the Red Sox in the early 2000s, but I didn't have a player that I just really like. I hated Nomar Garciaparra, partly because the Dick Jeter versus Nomar conversations, but I just didn't feel that hatred. Hockey, there's no that. Surprisingly for the Giants, I haven't found that player that I just flat out hate. Really, and it's Joel Embiid. Wow. I hate Joel Embiid. Wow. He's a crybaby. He talks all this shit. Like, he talks more shit than any player in the NBA. The one time he did get into a scuffle, he looked like a huge pussy. Like, Karl Anthony Towns took him down, and then he's celebrating. Like, he's never been in a fight in his life. Talks all this shit. Literally was crying, bawling tears. And the motherfucker's never left the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. He's not once left the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. That's with having James Harden. That's with having good teams around him, not by himself. And that's with them choking. Versus the Hawks 2 years ago, flat out choke. This past year versus the Heat, did they choke? No, the Heat were just a clearly better team than them. I can't stand Joel Embiid. And he's from Philly. Yeah, I can't stand him. Like,
That's a very good underrated hate right there.
Yeah.
And remember when he was doing I think it was maybe right before the pandemic, and he was doing everybody was like, when the home crowd like quiets down when you get to the foul line, and he's like this, like trust the process, and he wound up missing a free throw like a chooch. That's a good one. I like that. One.
I'm gonna find
too many Pringles.
I did hate Joel during the 2019 Nets playoff run. I did that because he was just being so annoying that year.
Let's see if I can find. I wrote. So remember after he cried in those playoffs, after they lost to the Raptors.
Why do Philly players cry?
Some kid wrote a letter, like "I love you" and blah blah blah. I can't find it, but I wrote a letter making it look like a kid, and I was like, "Why did you cry? And you're a pussy, and you didn't you have never won." Maybe I have it in my camera roll. I doubt it. Let me give me 10 seconds to look.
10.
But I will say that Joel Embiid is a massive, massive pussy. This is a very underrated good hate. Justin, who was your hate? To Deshaun Jackson?
Yes.
Danny King, who was yours?
Josh Norman.
Okay. It's fair. You don't want it to be like Adam Wainwright because Carlos Beltran was left on his knee.
I mean, I do not like Adam Wainwright.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, the hatred I have towards Josh Norman.
You do understand Mets and Cowboy fans are the same people, right?
No, we're not. Don't even compare us to those losers down in
Dallas. Okay.
We're like Cowboys. You're a Yankees fan.
Why don't you shut the fuck up for a second? No. Because in September, when the Cowboy fans are Super Bowl champions, in April, the Mets are World Series champions. You are so stupid. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I talk like Cowboys fans all the time, and my voice cracked like I'm still 15 years old. Yes, you Yankee fan. They sound just like Cowboy fans.
Okay, me?
I mean, well, sorry, not you, because you are the one guy that understands the Yankees are ass, just like Garrett Cole with the waste of a contract he was given by you guys.
Correct. But you are part of the we that does it.
I only acknowledge fact. You Yankees fans live in delusional, not you.
Danny, I have bookmarked tweets that you're saying the Mets are going to win the World Series.
And it's going to be great when they do win. You're going to show the world
well, when it's not, I guarantee you're not going back to college because you're going to be in the ground because you're going to kill yourself.
I found the letter.
Great.
Oh, what's the letter?
It said, "Dear Joel Embiid."
Edit that out.
It pretended it's, like a kid being a 76ers fan. It said, "Dear Joel Embiid, you were my favorite basketball player. You can't get out of the semifinals and cry like a baby. You talk so damn much and haven't won a damn thing. It's embarrassing, and you should grow up. Maybe practice with NBA players and stop shooting threes instead of talking. And then I drew a little picture, and it said 76ers get Anthony Davis. Pelicans get Joel Embiid. And it said from Bobby.
Lovely.
That was.
So Snacks, this show can't get us canceled.
It does
Next
look
question.
like sixth grade work. There's more questions?
Yeah, I think there is, man. This is good. This is the longest 4th of July mailbag ever.
We got two more. Giuseppe Chimita snuck another one in here. In a hypothetical world where Bobby and Justin had to be roommates in a New York City apartment, each of you pick what your favorite and least favorite things would be about living together. I'm also going to make me and Snacks roommates in this situation, and just like the death that would happen. But just so for fun, Bobby, Justin, what would be the least favorite thing about?
I forgot to think about this one.
I have mine.
Go for it.
I'm a very emotional person, and I need to like check in, and I need to like know like if there's something wrong. I need to know like what's happening. So it's like if you have if somebody has an issue with me, it's like, well, just fucking tell me. Like just don't like pity pout or don't like be passive aggressive or anything like that. And Bobby, sometimes I have to like get it out of him if there's something wrong. So that's what it would be, is I would be bugging Bobby about like, what am I doing that's bothering you? What am I doing that's bothering you? Bobby's going to be like, there's nothing. And then we would fight over that.
But this is as a roommate, you know?
Oh, well, yes, as a roommate, like they're as
like not
you're
living in the same room, like living in the same house, like you can kind of do your own thing as roommates.
No, but it'll happen. That kind of stuff happens.
I think you're a pretty clean person, not leaving dishes in the sink and stuff, right?
No, especially if I have to be clean, I will be. Like I was pretty clean in college.
You never had a roommate, but I've had bad roommates, man, and it's the worst thing in the world.
What do you mean? I lived in college for how many years? I had roommates for 4 years straight. What do you mean it doesn't count?
Oh,
yes,
no,
it does count.
Did you have like people stealing food, paying bills late? Like, I don't know. Honestly, we were at an hour and 35, and I don't even have a good answer for this question. Which is a good thing. Like, I can't think of something immediately that would annoy me about Justin as a roommate. So that's a good thing.
I feel like Justin may be the most ideal roommate
honestly.
of all time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
as long as you aren't like a
pig.
Yeah, as long as you're not a pig and you don't steal like food from me and pay bills on time, you know, that's really all I need for a roommate. The issue is I've never had a fucking roommate who has done all of those 3 things.
Exactly.
So, Danny, if me and you were roommates, I think we'd last about 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe even less. I don't know.
Well, it depends on the season.
Yeah, that is true. No. In April, it wouldn't last more than 24 hours.
No, because I would just try and smack you silly until you realize how stupid you are.
Exactly.
But with respect, of course.
Always respect. Only respect. Final question comes from Brett Brooks at Brooks Brett. Oh, that he threw it for a twist right there.
Every single name.
No, I got
Brett
all
Brooks.
things Brett.
We even made a joke when he signed up his Patreon as how like of an American name that is. He's like, and Danny can't get that one right.
What's each of your favorite shows to binge?
Do I even have to answer this?
I know. This is an easy one. Sopranos for you, right? Pick a second one though, because Sopranos is so easy.
Yeah, that's.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
24.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you guys guess my first?
Very good.
I think I know just
King of the Hill.
Trailer Park Boys.
Oh yes, Trailer Park.
Trailer Park Boys, easy. My second would be Old Cops. You could just
the Old Cops.
Not the new cops, old cops. Old cops. Like mustaches, grainy video. Those episodes are great.
What you gonna do?
Snacks. Can you guess mine?
I feel like I know Justin's.
You know what?
We've talked about this.
Yeah, I know we have. It's not like
I'm giving you 5 seconons.
Shit, it's gonna bother me. Go ahead.
Lost.
I knew it. Yes. And how many times have I ripped you for liking Lost?
Yes.
I was like, what's that ABC
I knew it.
Show?
Damn it! I knew
Love
it.
Lost.
For me, it's Narcos on Netflix. I love that show.
No, actually, Danny's right. Narcos is a great show.
Narcos is a great show. I remember Bobby actually only watched Narcos Mexico first instead of the original Narcos, so he was very confused about some of the characters.
There's a couple good shows out there though. I like
Narcos is great.
You guys,
Danny was like, watch the Mexico one too, and I was like, that's the one I watched, and I've actually watched both Narcos twice through.
You guys probably like Rescue. Rescue Me is really good. Sons of Anarchy probably.
Do you guys watch Stranger Things?
No,
I haven't watched. I haven't watched the new season yet.
Justin, you watch Stranger Things?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Actually,
it took me a lot of today is it's back. The finale.
Yeah, it's like
we're
recording it. We're recording. We're about to end this at 9 p.m. So hopefully it's Eastern Standard Time that it does go live. I have a feeling it's not.
Oh, it's 100% Pacific.
It's gonna be 3 a.m. our time, 12 midnight for the West Coast. So it's back on Friday. So I'm excited for that.
Justin, you're a strange dude.
I watch it.
I watch Stranger Things. I'm waiting for this.
I took me
to drop before you even start.
It's about it's called Stranger Things 1, and it's about like weirdo shit. And it took me. You know me. You know me. I'm stereotypical when it comes to shows. I was like, I'm not watching that. Like, it took a lot of convincing for me to watch it, and then when I did watch it, I was like, I'm hooked on this show. It was good. So,
Snacks, you would enjoy it.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. I am planning to watch it after I finish Peaky Blinders, the last season of Peaky Blinders.
I watched the first 10 minutes of Peaky Blinders, and I'm like, not for me.
You gotta go into it a little bit more.
I know. I didn't give it a chance, but I don't know.
It's very good. It's like Breaking Bad, where like the first season is like just bleh.
I love Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
did you finish it yet, Justin?
Well, it was my second time through, so yes, I finished it.
I thought that was your first time watching it.
And I am now watching Better Call Saul, and I'm in it.
I hated Better Call Saul. I didn't finish it.
No, this is the third time. This is the third time that I am trying to watch Better Call Saul, but I'm in it now, and I'm not getting out of it.
Dude, Justin, tell me I'm wrong. What season are you in?
I'm on season 1. I got to get through season 1.
All right. After like I would say the middle of season 2, yes, it takes a while. But Better Call Saul is phenomenal. Phenomenal. It's not better than Breaking Bad. There's only one show better than Breaking Bad, but Better Call Saul is unbelievable. It's that good.
All right. That's an episode.
I said my piece, Chrissy.
That's our Sopranos is a great show, by the way, too. Sopranos is one of those shows that I've watched only one time through, and I actually remember a lot about it. If I watch the show one time through, I forget a lot of stuff. I remember a lot of moments from.
That's what makes it the greatest of all time.
All right, we appreciate you guys. You guys thought this episode was long. The next one's going to be longer. It's our Best of Giants podcast. So enjoy your guys' 4th of July. I love doing this podcast every single year. So we'll be doing it again next year. Maybe we'll try and shorten it and give people a better chance of listening to it next year.
I think we should make it a little bit longer. But Justin, Bobby, thank you for having us.
No, thank you guys. Thank you, Danny King. Thank you, Justin. I think, Danny, you might be on the next podcast we record because over-unders are coming up.
Oh.
So we'll see. So we're going to take a week off, but we're not having no content. So make sure to listen to the Best of podcast and an episode. And you're going to hear from Snacks, too. Extra Bleeding Blue on the Talking Giants channel. So, all right, we'll enjoy you guys 4th of July. Have a good one. Be safe. Do a ton of fireworks. Be dangerous with them, but don't hurt yourself. We'll see you on Tuesday. Until then, let's go Big Blue.